Step inside and take a seat. You're watching Black Curtain Recaps, classic movies in 5 minutes. In tonight's movie, we pull back the cape on Bram Stoker's classic gothic horror novel, starring the one and only Bela Lugosi. It's the original Universal Studios vampire movie, Tod Browning's Dracula.
The story begins with Renfield, a British solicitor traveling through the Carpathian Mountains on his way to Dracula's castle in Transylvania.
Castle Dracula?
Yes, that's where I'm going.
Despite the frantic warnings about vampires and crucifixes offered by local villagers at an inn, he boards a coach to take him to Borgo Pass. Meanwhile, in Dracula's castle, Renfield's welcoming committee awake. Dracula and his wives are ready to feast on the night and await the arrival of their unsuspecting guest. At Borgo Pass, Renfield boards the coach to Dracula's castle, met by a silent and unusual driver. As they race through the mountain fog, Renfield realizes something is absolutely not ordinary. The driver suddenly vanishes into the night, and the castle doors swing open by themselves. Renfield enters the castle as the Count descends the staircase.
I am Dracula. I bid you welcome.
The castle is ancient, draped in cobwebs, and howls of wolves echoes through the cold walls.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
The living hall, however, is unexpectedly well kept and illuminated by candles. A dinner waits for Renfield as they discuss the Count's plan of leasing Carfax Abbey in England. Renfield is offered wine.
Aren't you drinking? I never drink. Why?
But the drink is drugged, and he quickly passes out. As Dracula's wives approach to feed, the Count shoos them away, kneeling to claim Renfield for himself. The schooner Vesta bound for England, its crew struggling against a violent storm. In the dark hold below, they are unaware of their dark cargo. Among them is Renfield, now mad slave to his master's will. When the Vesta finally reaches the shores of England, the authorities find a ghost ship. The entire crew is dead, except for one mad passenger. Renfield is immediately sent to the sanatorium to be kept under lock and key. The scene shifts to the fog-drenched streets of England. Dracula has arrived, bringing with him his hunger for human blood. But he doesn't hide like a predator, but blends in with the crowd. At the theater he meets Dr. Seward, whose sanatorium where Renfield was brought is right next to Carfax Abbey. He also meets Seward's daughter Mina, her fiancé John Harker, and family friend Lucy Weston. Later that night, Dracula appears as a bat at Lucy's bedroom window. He takes his human form and feeds on her blood while she sleeps. By the next day, Lucy is dead. Dr. Seward is left baffled by her sudden, unusual loss of blood and the 2 mysterious marks left upon her neck. At the sanatorium, Renfield becomes obsessed with eating flies and spiders. Investigating both Lucy's death and Renfield's bizarre behavior, the esteemed Professor Van Helsing comes to a conclusion about what they are dealing with.
We are dealing with the undead.
Renfield's reaction only confirms the theory, as he recoils violently from wolfsbane, a known protection against the undead. Later that night, Dracula now comes for Mina. The next evening, Mina speaks of a strange and unsettling dream. After Van Helsing discovers the familiar marks on her neck, Dracula arrives, and Mina appears unusually excited to see him. During the visit, Van Helsing and Harker notice that Dracula has no reflection in a small mirror. When confronted with this discovery, Dracula reacts violently before making a swift exit. Now, they are certain that the Count is the vampire, a fact corroborated to them by Renfield himself. Under Dracula's spell, Mina runs to him in the garden, falling completely under his power. They find Mina and rush her back inside. Van Helsing, Harker, and Seward confer on their only course of action. They must locate Dracula's resting place and drive a stake through his heart. While alone in the parlor, Van Helsing is confronted by the Count, who claims that he now owns Mina.
My blood now flows through her veins.
Dracula attempts to use his hypnotic power to bend the professor to his will, but Van Helsing counters with a crucifix. With daylight approaching, Dracula hypnotizes Mina and forces her to flee with him to Carfax Abbey. There, they are met by Renfield, but the Count, believing his servant has betrayed him, kills him. Van Helsing and Harker arrive on the scene just as Dracula retreats to the crypt with Mina. The 2 men find the coffin where the Count lies resting. With a final decisive blow, Van Helsing drives a stake through Dracula's heart. The vampire is destroyed, and Mina instantly returns to normal.
If you enjoyed this movie, please like and subscribe. See you in the next recap.